Thank you for listening to Pow Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pow Block Podcast. My name is Galatrad, and joining me tonight, as always, is the lovely, the wonderful, the man with the plan, Corey Derrick. What's going on?
Hey, that's me. Hello.
You're back.
I'm back. Can I say until next mission, lady?
Corey,
no one's a lady here though, so
no,
Corey.
no, unfortunately.
also
Corey,
I've only played about a half hour, so
Corey, it's been a long time since I've heard anyone say anything even remotely good as that you're lovely. Wow.
I am lovely, thank you.
And that lovely voice that you just heard was the man, the myth, the monster hunting legend, PC Master Race, and PlayStation extraordinaire, LeRon Dawkins. What's going on, man?
What's poppin'? Hey. Okay, so Jacob, say what you will. That was a damn good intro. Say what you will.
Had to come up with it on the fly. So
I feel like we're all fired.
Yeah. No.
Ed, you're fired.
No, Ed's great. I miss him, and I hope he comes back soon.
Okay, you're unfired.
Yeah, there you go. I saved you, Ed. Speaking of, just real quick, Ed won my giveaway.
What?
My 24-hour live stream giveaway. He actually won the giveaway. I tried.
So he actually got a second copy of Metroid?
Yeah, he's going to. I tried contacting him because I was like, I'm not sure if you would like want this or not, or if you would want me to just redraw it. And he was at work, so I was like, I'm gonna make a judgment call and redraw it. And then if you decide that you do want another copy or something, let me know and I'll buy it for you. Like, I'll buy it for you later. So I owe him a copy of Metroid Dread or something. But yeah, I was shocked. I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect that of all the people.
Well, I need to check because one of the guys on the writing team has an extra copy of the collector's edition.
Oh, dude,
Ooh.
nice. I'm still struggling to find those amiibo.
Like how? Like wait,
They've
how much?
been flashing it. It's like if you can find it at regular price, it's like $80 or $90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the amiibo have been flashing in and out on Amazon all day. Also, they were up on GameStop while I was at work, and I had them in my cart, and I was about to purchase them, and then it was like, something went wrong, and then, you know.
I had a brief moment during the Switch OLED announcement day where GameStop said it was available, but every time I clicked to add to cart, it never actually added. So even though it said that it was in stock, but anyways, yeah, we've all been hyped up and excited for Metroid Dread and the Switch OLED releasing this week. We're also going to talk about some other things like Grand Theft Auto coming to Switch. We're gonna get to literally murder people on Nintendo console games. That's interesting. I don't know.
Good thing Ed's not here. You could feel his eyes roll right out of the back of his head.
And then the best boy ever himself coming into Smash Brothers, but we'll get into that later in Family News. Right now, we're going to do a beloved segment that isn't quite the same without our little Edward here. Snacktindo! Corey, what have you been snacking on?
I've been snacking on medicine.
Yeah? It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple days. It's fine though. I'm good. My wife's family is in town, so we've been going over to her mom's house and they've been cooking, and last night they had some burgers and some pork chops and we ate those. I'm not usually a big pork guy, but this was really good stuff. Yeah. So it was really delicious, and I could have eaten about 10 pieces of it, but I held back.
Only ate 9.5.
Yeah. Shh. But yeah, I haven't really been snacking a whole lot lately. I've been like, it's been a long couple weeks for me, mostly because like I quit my job on Friday.
Wait, you quit?
Well, I mean, this is my last week there, but I turned in my notice.
Okay,
okay,
that's what I was wondering. I was like, you
No.
quit?
I mean, it's sort of.
When you say you quit your job, I usually think you just like up and like peace out, I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have, but I would never do that to people.
No,
it's just I couldn't do that.
I feel you, man. I've put in 2 weeks notices at every job that I've worked, and 90% of them have been like, all right, bye.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
I was fully expecting that on Friday when I turned in my notice, because that's usually what happens. And like people in my position work in multiple buildings and have like passwords and passcodes and stuff, and just to get into different parts of the building, and they don't want you to. I mean.
Yeah, no.
Not me, but they don't want people to like mess with stuff, and I mean, I guess it feels good that they trust me enough to work another week and a half to,
Yeah. Steal all those government secrets.
In my time of work, in my time of putting in notices at jobs, like I've only had one job that's like, okay, well, if you don't mind, we won't put you back on the schedule after this week. I've only had one job do that. Every other job's like, no, we're going to squeeze every ounce out of you.
Every other job.
By the way, you're now working 80 hours a week for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I mean, I did clock out last week with like almost 65 hours. So that was fun.
That's impressive.
It's not.
No, it is. It's impressive.
It hurts my brain.
Well, yeah, of course.
And my body. But I mean, last week was just like really busy with like interviews and tours and signing paperwork and everything. So I've been snacking on a new job is what I've been snacking on, and I'm very excited. I'm really excited. LeRon, we're IT buddies now.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I'm not like
Good.
building PCs and turning people's computers on.
I was just about to say that means I can pick your brain for stuff.
Oh my god! Speaking of turning computers on and off, I can't get too into it, but at my work we had a technical issue with one of the things that we were building, and I kid you not, the lead of our IT department was working on it, and then we found out that we had to turn the Wi-Fi off and on. And he spent it was like a solid 3 hours of effort, and everyone gave him absolute hell after that because it was like, oh, didn't turn it off and on. Rule number 1.
When it comes to internet and network equipment, sometimes it's like the last thing you think about when it comes to internet and network equipment. Usually, like every other damn thing that goes on, like, oh yeah, reboot that damn thing.
Yep. But what about you, LeRon? What have you been snacking on?
Well, I don't have any more of them right now. But Rice Krispies treats, like they make the home style ones that have like the globs of actual marshmallow bits in them. So just think the regular Rice Krispie square, except it's got like the excessive like marshmallow stuff in it. And that's I've been killing the chocolate ones. The vanilla ones aren't that good. Basically the reason why this is even happening is because I learned recently that one of the best things you can do before a workout is when you have your pre-workout, have a Rice Krispie square.
Why is that?
And, basically the added sugar, basically like it helps with blood flow and stuff, and it just rushes through your system and stuff. Gives you that extra charge, but also gives you that extra pump as well. And so what was happening was like I would buy a box of the Rice Krispie squares, and I would have one in the morning for my workout, and then I'd wind up snacking on them later throughout the day. And I was like, hold on, I need to separate the stash. So I went back to the store and I was like, I need something I can identify as this is the one to eat on by myself, and not for the workout. And I saw the home style ones. So I grabbed the box of the vanilla and I grabbed the box of the chocolate. The vanilla ones basically. They taste like the regular Rice Krispies treats, but there's something not right about it. But the chocolate ones are on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically my snack thing. And I was hanging out with a buddy, and she overbought way too much Halloween candy. So I went home with like 3 Ziploc bags full of stuff, and right now Mars has a brownie mix version, which basically is like M&Ms with the brownies, Twix with the brownies, Snickers has a brownie square, which
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
instead of the nougat stuff,
Yeah.
it's a brownie block in there.
Yeah, yeah. I actually
And
just
yeah,
had the brownie Snickers recently.
I
yeah.
sat down and I heard brownies.
So now I'm thinking about after we wrap the show, running to Walmart and buying like one of those Halloween bags and, and getting some of that.
There's
But yeah,
nothing like a good gooey brownie.
Oh yeah, for real.
With like,
What?
you ever
Yep.
get the ones? You ever like get the ones that you make, but it has like the stuff inside too, like the fudge,
Yeah, yeah.
melty
Oh, yeah.
fudge inside
Oh, yeah.
too.
So in your brownies, anything, almonds, nuts.
No, I don't do
No?
nuts.
You don't do nuts?
No, nuts do not
That's
go in my
nuts.
mouth, Jacob.
I see what you did there.
Mm.
That's nuts, dude. No, I feel like
Ah,
I feel like LeRon is gonna side with me on this, maybe. But
Yeah,
as a kid, absolutely not. As a
Yeah.
kid, a brownie is a brownie, right? You don't get none of that healthy nut stuff in there. That's weird.
Yeah.
As an
Here's my-
adult,
I
here's
do
my
like
thing,
I
though.
do like a good cosmic brownie though,
yeah.
with like the colorful chocolate chips on top.
What's your thing,
Here-
LeRon?
here's my thing though. Like, do not go freaking ham on like the walnuts and pecans in your freaking in your when you're mixing your brownie batter. Like you know what? For every bowl of brownies that you make, maybe a half a cup to 3/4 cups of chopped nuts.
Mhm.
Like anything else is too excessive and it kills the overall appeal of the actual brownie itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you still need that ooey gooey goodness, but you
Yeah,
want a
so-
little bit of crunch in each bite too.
Yeah, so Grandma Doris, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I will throw your brownies straight in the trash. if the nut to chocolate ratio is off, like you're done.
Jeez, poor Grandma Doris.
LeBron's so mean.
Hey, when you are the grandchild that get past the age of 40, you start getting some latitudes that you can do and say to your older generation. You gotta know when and where to sass them.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Like I mean because like the last thing you want to hear is that like they're gonna climb on a chair and whack you with a spoon or something like that. That's when you've gone too far.
any other snack tendos from you, LeRon? Anything else you've been watching? Did you ever finish? I mean, I'm sure you did, but did you finish the Rainbow Twizzler bucket you got?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about the Rainbow Twizzler bucket is like at least that gives me a little bit of self-restraint because it's 105 straws, right? And
Yeah.
it's not like the 2-pounder bag that you just unwrap, regular Twizzlers and because I'll mindlessly eat those, but the fact that they're individually wrapped,
Yes.
it takes so much time to unwrap them and it's like, okay, yeah,
Well-
I can't eat but so many at a time.
And there's always the like I'll buy a bag of Reese's, but like the mini Reese's that you have to unwrap. And there's always
Oh.
like you'll be snacking on them, but then you see the pile of like Reese's
Of the
wrappers.
wrappers?
Yeah, it's like, and you're like, oh, that's pretty big. That's almost a little mountain. So
It's like
you
that-
gotta stop.
It's like that TikTok. I messed up.
I messed up. Oh, I messed up. Well, very fun. Weirdly enough, I also had a Rice Krispie as my snack tendo. There's a couple people at work that love to bake, and they often bring in all sorts of different desserts and breads and just food in general. And today, when I walked in, there was a Rice Krispie ball. It was a bunch of them, but it had like apple cider powder on it, and it was just really big marshmallows, and they weren't actually. It wasn't actually Rice Krispies. It was what did she say? It was like almost like an animal cracker that she crunched up, and then soaked and then baked, so that they'd be kind of crispy like. And but man, that thing was so good. I ended up going back for a second one. because it was very difficult to eat because like the Rice Krispie square is perfect. You can just you eat it like a little sandwich, right? Like it's very easy to get in your mouth. But this thing is like just imagine a Rice crispy apple that's all gooey and sticky, and you're trying to like bite into it. And
I see what's happening. They were in the spirit of like the Halloween thing, like candied apples, except those Rice Krispies.
Exactly.
I could dig it. I think I'd want to try one.
Oh man, they were so good. I have to get the recipe from her because that was delicious. I love Rice Krispie treats a lot, but I don't get them a whole lot because I just kind of don't think about it. They're usually in the aisle that's like. They're not, at least for me in Texas, they're not ever in like the regular snack aisle. They're always in like the kids snacks aisle. And I usually just don't even walk down that aisle because I'm like, no, I'm an adult. I don't need this stuff. But man, I sure as heck do. All right. Well, that was Snacktendo. A lot, maybe quicker without Ed. I'm not sure, but Ed didn't have a whole bunch to bring to us today.
Let's be fair. Anytime we ask Ed to bring a list of something,
he delivers.
He brings the buffet.
He does.
For better or for worse, he delivers.
He absolutely delivers. Just like we're not sponsored by anybody, but you could be. We could. If a food place would sponsor us for Snacktendo, we could talk about delivery. That'd be great.
Listen, if Oreo wants to sponsor this show, I will eat every single Oreo on stream.
We'll do
one time.
An eat the Oreo.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Try Guys eat the menu thing? It's one of the Try. Do you know who the Try Guys are? Okay.
Yeah.
Silence. Okay.
I know who they are. I know who they are.
Are these people I should know who they are?
Well,
they were from they start with BuzzFeed.
Yes, yeah.
They were a group of, was it 5 or 4 of them? 4. I can't remember.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4 different contributors at BuzzFeed. They basically like banded together and started doing like random stuff and side projects and they blew up and basically got YouTube channel, and then like all of them are doing their individual things now.
Yep. But they have a segment called Eat the Menu, and I'd like to see Corey do an Eat the Oreo where he eats every single flavored Oreo in one sitting. And reviews them. So I'm into it.
Hey, side note, everybody. Metroid Dread Collector's Edition is on Amazon right now.
At regular price?
Yeah, $89.99. But it like does that thing where like it swirls and then it's like something went wrong or your card is empty. But just a heads up. People watching live. If not, well, sorry.
Well, that was a very interesting Game Fact Advance there, Corey. The Metroid Dread Collector's Edition. No, what do you got for us? What do you got for our Game Fact Advance this week? Pardon me.
Hold on, I have it written down. Let me pull it up here. Pulling up stuff because I
vamping.
Yeah.
So. Yes.
So, in October of 1993, a lot of people were, getting ready to either purchase an SNES or they've had one for a while. But the NES was still very popular. And so, Nintendo, to capitalize on the popularity of a lot of NES games that were still coming out, including Mega Man 5 and 6, Kirby's Dream Land, all these games still coming to the NES, even though the SNES was out. They decided to redesign the NES, called the NES 101, or the new NES, is a top-loading model with a dog bone shaped controller, similar to the Super Nintendo controller. And they released it in October of 1993 for $89.99, and it came with 2 controllers. It played all of your NES games. It came with the cleaner ports, cleaner reset button, cleaner power button, top-loading Nintendo, and it was only printed for about 18 months or so, because then the Super Nintendo took off, and then people were talking about the Ultra 64, and so, yeah, for you history buffs out there, the original NES got a super weird looking redesign, and it's probably one of the coolest retro consoles I think that's out there right now.
Dude,
Wait, I think I remember that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's called Nintendo 101, right?
NES 101, new style NES. I've seen this thing in the wild at like old video game stores in Austin so many times, and every time I've been like, I don't want to buy that to play NES games. That's some third-party piece of junk.
No.
Yeah.
And that's a legit thing.
It's actually better. Like the processor inside is better. The pin set is better.
Oh
like
my
it doesn't
god!
break.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they shaped the controller to be more like the Super Nintendo controller.
It's very much a dog bone though. The Super Nintendo controller had like it was a little bit fatter in the yeah.
Yeah, it is, but they clearly kind of wanted to use
inspired for sure.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I had no idea. Well, now if I see one of these, I'm gonna have to buy it.
Yeah, there's also
awesome.
Something called this so you know how like you had to blow in the cartridges, and some NESs like the pins would be off, so you would have to like shove the cartridge down before it would end all the way, and it would make this really loud cracking sound, and you're like, I hope it didn't break something.
Yep.
Well, it included a redesign of, obviously it's a top loader, but something called the zero insertion force mechanism in the cartridge slot, so you wouldn't have to really push down at all. It would just slide it in, plays the game, and just pull it out.
That's crazy. I can't believe I'm not even like I can't believe how many times I've passed on this thing. I was looking it up when you mentioned it and thinking that like, oh, this is just some like junk Mad Catz thing. Oh my god, that's crazy. You said you delivered, Corey. Oh my god, you were saying this one's gonna be awesome, and that is amazing.
A lot of people know about the Super Nintendo redesign, but a lot of people don't know about the NES redesign. So
I'm gonna
here's your game fact advance for the week. What, have you never seen that Super Nintendo redesign?
I got my consoles, and then that was all I ever had, and then like,
dude, the Super Nintendo redesign is so much cooler than the one that people know.
Oh my god,
I love the Super Nintendo.
This is amazing. They brought like what? Why didn't they do this redesign? They brought it back for the Wii. They had that redesigned Wii that I think is like all black and red, and it's a top loading Wii. Really odd. Jeez, man.
I love the Super Nintendo redesign.
Yeah, that's slick. It's all curved and sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't turn yellow either.
Yeah. Do you know why that happens?
Yeah, because the stuff they put on it to protect it from like, it's like the fireproof spray that they put on the plastic.
It oxidizes.
Yeah. So that's why my Super Nintendo is in a bag, in a box downstairs.
Yep. Apparently, there's a way that you can clean that, but it's pretty detailed. So
yeah. I'd rather just keep it in a bag in a box and never take it out again.
Fair.
Until I get a glass, display case for all my consoles someday. Someday.
With it all of them hooked up to a single TV.
No, they're not going to be hooked up. I'm not going to be that guy.
Why not?
No, not going to be that guy.
Oh. Yeah, why shouldn't? Why?
What do you mean why?
You got to be able to play them all.
I want to know. I want to know why.
What good is coming over to Corey Durig's house if he has all of these consoles and you're like, well, let's play one of them, and he's like, no, we don't.
I mean, I'll get them out to play. I'll get them out to play them. But I won't. I'm not going to leave them hooked up. Like if you, Galatrad, if you came all the way up to Akron, Ohio, and you said, hey, let's play some Turtles in Time, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Give me 30 minutes.
Give me 10 minutes to dig it out. Let me find my composite cable to HDMI adapter. We'll hook it up to my 55-inch TV in the living room. We will play some Turtles in Time.
But only if we sit cross-legged on the floor with a bowl of cereal in front of us.
3 inches.
Yeah.
3 inches from the TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those were the days. Those were the days. Oh, I don't want to come. I don't want to come to your piddly little party anyway. And I got my own thing going on. Thank you very much.
Like what? Like what do you got going on, LeRon?
I
gotta go work out.
Play Metroid alone in my bed and cry.
Well, speaking of Metroid,
it's the Wolverine meme where like Wolverine's laying in bed touching the picture frame, except it's LeRon and it's me and Galatrad playing Super Nintendo.
that's awesome. Oh my god, I want that now. I'm gonna have to figure out Photoshop.
Wait, why is it always me? I feel like I am always the one that winds up in that Squidward meme. Why is it me? Why is it me? Like I enjoy NES and Super NES games and 3 Nintendo 64 games.
We only right there, that's why. Oh man, we're loyal to our Pow Blockers. That's all. We mostly just bring you on to.
I get it. I understand.
And we have to
it's the same reason you bring me on at Crossroads. You just make fun of me the whole time, and then me and Austin start talking about something totally different.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Well, speaking of talking about something totally different, let's move into Family News, where we just recently, today, in fact, learned from Capcom themselves that Monster Hunter Rise, which will be coming to PC, will not have cross-play or cross-save support with the Nintendo Switch version. LeRon, as our resident PC expert and monster hunting extraordinaire, how do you feel?
To quote one of those housewives, this ain't it, honey.
this ain't it, girl.
I you know what? I feel like I feel like a sucker because like if anyone remembers, like I basically like shoved that entire survey. I threw the link at everybody in the chat, and I was like, "Hey, Capcom's talking about the possibility of cross save and cross play for Monster Hunter Rise. Please just fill this out for me." and apparently, I don't know. Like I don't want to cast aspersions on Capcom, but maybe, just maybe, the response was way more than they expected. But here's what I know for sure. Like Dan and I had a conversation about this because Dan was Dan, you know, your buddy Dan from Pow Block.
Yep.
Like he was excited about the prospect of it too. But when he found out that like every previous Monster Hunter game did not have this either, he was like, man, he's like, what's taking them so long? And then so when this survey comes out and 3 of the questions are geared towards the crossplay or cross saves, we're like, this is the one. This is going to be it, you know, and especially with the development cycle, because like if you look at how they did Monster Hunter World for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and then the PC version came out, there wasn't that either, and also that game had a staggered launch, like PC version got it like 9 months later, and then the update schedule was out of sync for everybody. Well, actually, PC players were behind on the updates while everybody else was getting the updates. So, and it was one of the biggest things that people actually were, I'm not going to say complained about, but it was one of the things that basically, like, gamers expressed concern. They're like, hey, like, could we at least, because, like, for example, for me, like, I sank over 700 hours in the PS4 version of Monster Hunter before World came out on PC. Luckily for me, like, you know, it only took me like 180 hours to get back to the same status that my other character was. You know, like I still haven't surpassed my character's 100 rank from the PS4 version, but at the same time, you know, like I did all the work in significantly less time and actually got a better character in the long run. But you know, like some people just would like to not have to start their games over every single time, especially when it's the same exact game.
Yeah. It was a big detractor for me because I have 300 plus hours in Rise and I don't want to play through it all over again, despite the fact that I probably will. But I just, you know, there's something about like bringing the same one character with you through everything. Yeah. And yes. I would have very much liked to have moved it over to the PC, where it's going to run so much better, be a lot more graphically intensive, have a much smoother frame rate. But unfortunately, this just apparently, like you said, this isn't it. This ain't it, fam. And I really hope...
Fact,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. was just about to read their statement, but go ahead and finish your thought.
Well, I was gonna say I really hope so. You'll read it in just a moment, but they do say that they worked on it, they tried, and I hope that they continue to try. I hope that they don't just say, all right, well we did our best and that's it. I hope that there's somebody there who's continuing to look into it, continuing to figure it out, so that we can actually get this.
I wonder if this is something they'll work on and like announce alongside what's it called? Sunbreak? Is that the new expansion?
But
I don't know. It's not gonna happen. Not for Rise and Sunbreak. Because Sunbreak is essentially just the add-on to Rise. So it won't happen. If anything, I mean, Monster Hunter 6 will be the game where it happens.
I just don't understand why. Like, I mean, I know networking and coding and stuff is extremely difficult, and I'm not denying that. My thing is like so many games have done this already. You know, The Witcher, Hades, Civilization.
Well, here's the thing about it. Here's
the
thing about it. Like we're looking at Japanese companies. Japanese companies still don't they don't have the grasp of like the whole like online infrastructure. Like Sony was trying to do it, but they were like the rest of the world wasn't ready for what they were planning back in the PS3 days. So it kind of got shoveled until PS4 happened. But a lot of these companies like Capcom, I'll even say to an extent Nintendo. Nintendo, like we look at Nintendo's like online structure as really questionable sometimes, and Capcom, Sega's had one hit, and that was Phantasy Star Online, and that was way back in the Dreamcast days, but a lot of these companies really don't do it. But American companies, like I want to say the first American company that I have like fully realized online gameplay was the original NFL 2K. I want to say that was the first one that kind of like kicked the whole thing off. Because I'm not talking about the MMOs. I'm talking about actual like mainstream console games. That was the first one to kick it off. It was from an American studio and stuff like that. And like it seems like American studios. Oh, well, I'm gonna say Western studios because like some of the studios in the UK and Europe also were able to embrace it pretty early and stuff like that. But and also you gotta look like Capcom when it comes to Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has always been one of those games. Like once it got to the PSP, it was always one of those, on the couch, or ad hoc version and stuff like that. So Capcom is having a hard time just shaking its roots of that, and the Switch, definitely gives it portability, but like they're starting to introduce these games. This will be the second this will be the second mainstream Monster Hunter game that hit the PC. And like even though like Steam's integration of online worked wonders for Monster Hunter World, so they just need to realize they need to tap into that potential a lot earlier. They need to do it in early development. That way, like you don't have like that many, like I'm not gonna say ticked off gamers, but that many disappointed gamers. I'm disappointed, but guess what? Like I'm gonna play a PC version, which means I was already resigned to start over because I've been starting over every Monster Hunter game, since 2004 when Monster Hunter 1 was out. So
yeah, and it's not like starting over is not something that's new to Monster Hunter fans. But it's interesting that I wanted to ask you specifically. And I think you mentioned it, but Monster Hunter World didn't have any of this? You couldn't go from PS4 to Xbox to PC with any of your save files?
Nope. But there was an online community, and I'm hoping that might be something for... there was a community on one of the Monster Hunter like forums and whatnot. I'm not going to say it was on Discord because I don't want people to start flooding the Monster Hunter Discord and all that stuff. But there was a set group of people that were like, hey, like if you trust us, upload your copy of your save file to your to a thumb drive, send it to us, and we'll use a hex editor and convert the dex code and send you the credentials, so you can put it over to your PC version. Yeah, a lot of people reported success in that. Some people have broken games, it is what it is, because they still have their original copy of their save file still on their PlayStation or Xbox. Yeah. But so there is hope, because I even mentioned that to Dan. I was like, yeah, like there's a possibility that like someone's just gonna be like, hey, like like we'll just look at the code, find your save file, and then convert it so it's able to work on Steam or whatnot, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Capcom's statement was, and I also put it in the Twitch chat. That's the link to the Twitter. Capcom's statement was, "We've heard your request for cross save and cross play for Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, but unfortunately, after looking into it throughout the development process, we found we were unable to implement it at this time. As always, we appreciate your continued feedback and support." One thing I know for sure, like when the new producer took over, Ryozo, I think it's Sakamoto, when he took over for Monster Hunter, because he took over for Monster Hunter during Monster Hunter 4.
Yeah.
When he took over for Monster Hunter, like he definitely had an outlook for like what can bring the community together and stuff like that. He's a hell of a producer, which is why he was the I want to say he was a temporary boss for Street Fighter when Yoshinori Ono stepped down. But yeah, like that was so that was a thing.
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird thing for me because like it's almost like cross save and cross play has become the new will this game have multiplayer. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but like for me personally, or specifically local multiplayer, for me personally, because like Borderlands was a great example of like I needed that game to have local multiplayer, and it's so much so to the point that when we found out that it didn't, for a full group of people, we actually went out and bought used Xbox 360s just so that we could all play Borderlands together, this group of people that I was intending on playing with.
Borderlands doesn't have local multiplayer?
I believe it has 2-player split screen, but that's it.
I'm sorry, my headphones just went out, so if you guys were talking to me, I did not hear anything.
We weren't. Don't worry about it.
No, I was talking about Borderlands and how this idea of cross-play and cross-progression and all that is akin to the conversation that everyone was having when people were always demanding that games came out with multiplayer, with local multiplayer, with online multiplayer, and we are still somewhat having that conversation a lot, especially with Nintendo, but it seems that now as we like delve further into this idea of like there are no more console wars, because I feel like that still has been a threshold that people haven't kind of gotten over for a long time. But as we delve into this idea more and more that people are buying multiple different systems, like you might have an Xbox and a PlayStation, a PC and a Nintendo, whatever. People are looking for that, the ability to play their one game where they want and on their file. And I think that's I personally feel like that is something that needs to be looked more into by development teams than things like this cloud gaming stuff. Things like, I mean, that's really the only one, is because there seems to be like VR and AR. I think that kind of taking away the leashes of the big three plus PC. But of Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, and them saying, well, we're not going to play nice with each other, but then the other third-party developers saying, okay, well, we are, and we're going to allow you to be able to take your saves on whatever system you want and keep on going. But that it just seems like this is kind of like a hot button or a hot topic type of thing. What's up, Corey?
Nothing. I was just muting myself.
Sorry. No.
I felt the cough coming on, I was like,
well, no worries. Sorry about that. But I feel like this is like the hot topic that people are wanting to hit. But I will say, to Capcom's credit, and I said it earlier, is that they actually talked about it. They didn't just post out their survey and be like, you're muted. You, LeRon.
He's still muted.
That's all good.
Uh-oh.
But I'm going to finish my sentence.
We don't need LeRon on the show.
No, we do. We need LeRon on the show.
No. You can't get rid of me that quick, that easily. No, sir.
But what were you saying?
The fact that they did actually answer people. That's why I'm thinking there must have been a lot of feedback, from that survey. They must have had overwhelming, because a lot of people were watching the Tokyo Game Show, but they weren't expecting an announcement of a big expansion for Monster Hunter, and they sure as hell weren't expecting like the actual release information for the PC version. I honestly thought the PC version would have already been out by now, because of that data leak that happened last year, for Capcom, where we knew all these games were coming. So, but they must have had like more feedback than they anticipated, and so they had to say something, which is good on them. And I guess the silver lining here is that, like when Monster Hunter drops on the PC, like it'll basically have all the content through right now.
Yeah.
So there won't be this big gap. I'm not even. The way it sounds like everything's going to be available as you progress up the hunter ranks. Like it's not going to be one of those things where you just wait, for an update or whatnot. But I don't know. The way it looked like from the Tokyo Game Show is that hey, like all the content that's available up through November of this year will be available on the PC version as soon as it comes out, which we get a demo on Wednesday this week.
Nice. Oh, we do.
Yeah, we get a PC demo this week.
I will have to check that out. But yeah, so unfortunate news from Monster Hunter, or from Capcom about Monster Hunter Rise. Still looking forward to Sunbreak though. That's going to be an excellent expansion. Another quote-unquote expansion that got announced last week was the expansion of the Final Fighter into Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Ed owes me a pizza.
Were y'all cheering? I had to watch this at work, and I was sitting at my desk in my office, and I actually had to remind myself that I was at work because I started getting so hyped up about it and loud.
That's funny.
I'm not gonna say I cheered for it, but I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I wasn't ready for a Kingdom Hearts character to come to Smash, and I definitely wasn't thinking that another Final Fantasy adjacent character would show up. You already got Cloud, you got Sephiroth. Who else would you put in? But Kingdom Hearts definitely seemed like the most logical conclusion.
Well, so apparently Sora was the most requested character in their poll that they did during the Wii U days, the Wii U 3DS Smash Brothers game. And they didn't even bother with it because of the legal hoops that they would have to jump through, specifically with Disney. And you'll notice that the only Disney thing on his character is the little Mickey Mouse emblem on the bottom of his keychain.
Look, it's fine. It's fine. I know a lot of people are mad. I know a lot of people were mad about the Hollow Bastion, and it goes into the next form, the stained glass, Anybody who plays Kingdom Hearts, there's pictures of Donald and Goofy on the stained glass. They replaced They replaced Donald and Goofy with,
a Palpoo fruit and something else. I don't remember what the other thing was.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts imagery for you non-Kingdom Hearts nerds out there.
That's right.
But look, first of all, I called it in 2019 with Ed. I was like, look, Ed, Sora is going to be in Smash Brothers.
In 2019.
I don't know how they're going to do it. To be fair, I was half kidding, but Sora, the two characters I wanted most in Super Smash Brothers were Sora and Shovel Knight. And not because I'm the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan. I love Disney. I love Kingdom Hearts for what it is, right? I played all the games. Well, not all the games. I played most of the games. I enjoy that series because it's weird and stupid and fun. I just thought Sora would be the perfect character for Smash, right? He's just, Kingdom Hearts has lived on Nintendo's handheld consoles forever, right? 358 over 2 days,
Recoded,
Dream Drop Distance, Recoded, Chain of Memories, right? So Sora is a perfect fit. I thought they were going to have trouble with the Disney licensing because Disney does own Sora, even though Kingdom Hearts is developed by Square.
Yeah.
you know, Disney does own Sora. Disney does own the Kingdom Hearts IP. So I thought that was going to be like a big, especially once you got into Kingdom Hearts 2 and you heard about the development hell that Kingdom Hearts 3 went through, right? With like, they had to get every single world approved by Disney. And depending if it was a Disney world or a Pixar world, they had to go to that studio and kind of, that's why like the Disney worlds, you're basically playing through the movie because Disney is so like, you know, got to be like this, got to be like this. Whereas the Pixar worlds, they had a little bit more freedom to create their own stories within the worlds. And like the Toy Story level is really kind of like its own thing. It's just, Sora is perfect for Smash. I'm sorry. Sora is, that was the best way you could have possibly ended the Smash. Like, he's the only character that would have met or exceeded anybody's expectations for the final character.
Yeah. Because even if no matter how many people out there want Waluigi in Smash, if it was Waluigi, the internet would lose their minds because they would just immediately be like, this is just a troll character. Like, this isn't even a thing. Yeah, no, Sora makes so much more sense than like even than like Sephiroth and Cloud, because like if you take the family-friendly vibes that Nintendo puts off all the time, it's Sora has yes, he has like I don't know. I guess my argument kind of loses point because we have like Marth and all the 9,000 Fire Emblem characters, but Sora wields a Keyblade. It's not a sharp. It's like a battering stick basically. It's not sharp. So like there is no idea of like slashing your opponents in half. That's why we have the beam sword and not like a regular sword, right?
Yeah.
It's because
I want to say I am surprised that Disney allowed them to use the Mickey Mouse head on the like I would have expected him to use something like Oathkeeper, or you know, like one of the special Keyblades that you get later on in the game, right?
Yeah, well, and what's funny is the Kingdom Key, his like classic standard Keyblade, has in other games it has just like the crown from Kingdom Hearts. Like it doesn't have the Disney icon. So it's very odd that they did that. And it's funny too because like Kirby, when he sucks up Sora, he doesn't get a Keyblade. He gets the Monado from Shulk, but then like Disney was like, no, only Disney characters can wield the Keyblade.
It's crazy because Mario wields the Keyblade in the trailer.
Yeah, I know he does. That's insane. Which it's funny because
like that's the coolest.
It's super cool, and it's funny though because like I feel like it's just shy. I don't know if this is like Boss Rush or Pow Block relevant, but there was this really funny conversation that I in an interview that I heard between who's the guy that creates Family Guy and American Dad?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. He was talking about how like there was this one scene where like intercourse was suggested, but like with Fox they had to go frame by frame to decide like how low the like silhouette of a woman could drop to suggest this. And I feel like that's kind of how Disney took this with Mario wielding the Keyblade, because he technically picks up a fireball and then but it's very much the Keyblade already. It's so funny.
Yeah, I do appreciate this trailer coming full circle though, right? Like it just like really it evokes the first trailer. It comments on the whole Kirby's the only one that survived, right?
Yep.
And then, you know, Sora, it comes in and is the light that saves everybody. I love everything about it. I love everything about it.
I do too. I love that he doesn't fight and he just floats around. He's Sora. He's just being a goofball. And
he flies. He has the flying power from the Peter Pan level in the first game.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
God. It's so cool. I love it. Love it. Absolutely. LeRon,
Kingdom Hearts is so fun. Play it.
So listen, do play it.
We're talking two things that you guys know I'm just not good at.
Look, this was
but listen,
this was me. Just 20 minutes while you guys just sat and talked about Monster Hunter. Okay.
that's why I lined it up.
And notice we didn't pressure you into playing Monster Hunter.
Well, I would have
on my
liked
wish
for Corey
list.
to have played Monster Hunter.
I would like to play Monster Hunter. That's the thing.
Would you like me to buy you a digital copy of Monster Hunter?
I'm not going to ask you to buy me things. Ed already buys me things, and I already want to smack him.
So
I'm very appreciative, but still.
I want to say, because this incredibly exciting and wonderful announcement was then, for me, and I feel like for a lot of people, brought on by just the saddest thing that could have ever been said to follow Sora is coming to Smash Brothers, which is that Kingdom Hearts Collection is coming to Switch.
Which I got excited for.
As the cloud version.
Then I got sad.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I've professed my love for digital games. I do not own physical games unless I absolutely have to. If they are not available digitally, I do not own physical games. Cloud gaming is a scam. Not only is it just a scam of like, you don't own what you buy. I at least own my digital games. If Nintendo shuts off their servers, the only games that I won't be able to play, which physical game players won't be able to do either, are ones that will require online.
Yeah.
Everything else that is on my SD card, I will be able to play. You cannot do that with cloud gaming. And on the Switch, of all things, the game system that is made to be taken away from Wi-Fi, away from the house, away from the world, and just enjoy your own little pocket of gaming, has cloud games on it. And it's Kingdom Hearts isn't the first one, but like that.
But Kingdom Hearts is like a really terrible offense to it, because like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are PS2 games. Chain of Memories is a Game Boy Advance game. Half of those games are 3DS or DS games. Like,
if The Witcher 3 can run on the Switch,
the only
without a cloud version.
Yeah.
The only one I understand, which
yes,
it's a poor explanation, but Kingdom Hearts 3, I get, right? Runs on PS4, Xbox One.
Even Kingdom Hearts 3 is like a stretch in my opinion.
Because Unreal Engine 4 is super scalable to the Switch, right? Especially in the way that they use it for Kingdom Hearts.
I would have totally accepted Kingdom Hearts 3 being the only cloud one. I would have also accepted Kingdom Hearts 3 being like, hey, it's Kingdom Hearts 3, you get the story, you get the characters, you get the fun, but like everything's dialed back by like 9. Because I get it. I totally get it. I'm not sitting here looking at my Switch and thinking you're just as powerful as the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. No, it's not.
That'd be cool if it was.
It would be. Switch Pro, where are you at? But
just in time for the next new gen consoles to come out.
Yes, right? Yeah. But but here's my fear, right? And I tweeted about this, and Corey was the only person to respond to it because he gets it, is that it's a cloud game, and Square Enix is going to look at this and look at the poor sales and go, well, I guess nobody wants Kingdom Hearts on Switch.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Look, I'm sorry. Nintendo people of all people are the people that want the games, like want the hard copies of games, right?
Yep. That's true.
So, Square, not looking at that, did the complete opposite of what Nintendo fans want. It's like,
it makes no sense.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are PS2 games.
Say it again.
2.
You know the
Kingdom
reason
Hearts 1 came out in 2003 on PlayStation 2. Give me a hard copy of this darn game.
You know the reason why I think like they like Square Enix decided with the cloud versions, they wanted consistency. They didn't want to downgrade the games. They didn't want to.
The only game that should be getting a cloud version from Square is Final Fantasy VII.
And the thing is, I would agree with you, LeRon, but like 99% of people that play it, the cloud version, are gonna play a downgraded version.
That's
because
true.
their internet won't work enough. Because the Switch's internet won't work enough. Like,
wait, so how's Control and Hitman? How those games run?
To be fair, Control on Switch runs great. Hitman on Switch runs great. But I played Control like because they have like 2-hour trials
Yeah.
of those games before you have to buy them to play the rest of it.
Sounds like I have to beat Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 in 2 hours.
They play great. Okay, don't get me wrong. Frame rate's great until the Wi-Fi hitches, and then it sucks, right? But that's what you get with cloud gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, Jacob, and I know we're going long on the subject, but I want to hit home with this. If you're gonna play at home, you might as well just buy the game on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC and play it the best way possible. The whole point to buying these third-party games on Switch and like the inferior versions is to take it with you.
That's exactly it.
If you can't take it with you, why would you buy it on this console? I'm sorry.
I was so mad because I've been holding out buying these games on PC because I was like, it's gotta come. There's no way. It has to come eventually. Thinking I'd be able to play Kingdom Hearts on the go, and now I'm not able to. And and I still haven't bought it on the PC.
I ended up buying them all on Xbox because they're all available on Xbox, and like I just assumed they weren't ever going to come to Switch, so I bought them like a year ago.
And then I get excited. You know what's crazy about this? Like, because a lot of people know, I've been jokingly saying I'm going to write an editorial called "Kingdom Hearts Broke My Heart," but the possibility of having portable Kingdom Hearts would have been just enough for me to buy it and actually finish the storyline. Like, I mean, honestly, like I don't understand. I don't think these companies understand the power of portability sometimes. Yeah, some games don't make sense portable, and other games are perfect in a portable sense. And you know what? An RPG game like freaking Kingdom Hearts, people would spend
especially a hub-based action RPG like Kingdom Hearts, right?
And you know what? The fan base would have spent $60 for Kingdom Hearts 1.5. They would have spent $60 for 2.5. They would have spent $60 for 2.8, and they
would have spent close to $300 to get this whole collection.
Yeah, the whole collection. They would, and you know what? This is one of those rare times when no one would complain about the price of a Switch cartridge.
Yeah,
it would be one of those rare times.
I'm just baffled by this decision, especially from Square, who's actually been pretty supportive of the Switch, right? With Octopath, Triangle Strategy, the Final Fantasy re-releases, right? Like they've been so supportive of this console in a lot of different ways, and just to do something like this is it's mind-boggling.
Did they change company heads recently?
I'm not sure.
Because lest we forget my rage at the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection coming to PC and mobile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then now this.
You guys are gonna get that Final Fantasy collection on Switch. I know you are.
I don't care anymore.
I felt such a big disturbance from Jacob's direction when that Final Fantasy collection got announced.
Here's the thing though with that Final Fantasy collection. I think Square wants to make it a really, really big deal because this is going to be the last time they can actually sell this collection, because theoretically through your PlayStation account or your Xbox account or Nintendo account, like this is going to be the last time, because theoretically you're going to be able to carry it forward and play it in perpetuity, right? Like this. Mm-hmm. So when they bring it to consoles, I think their plan is to do a staggered release because they want to make it a big deal when they come to consoles, and because it's going to be the last time they can sell it.
Yeah. So. Well, until they upgrade it again to the 2.5 HD or whatever it is.
I mean, look, they're doing it to Dragon Quest 3, and I'm extremely excited.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
It was a whirlwind adventure having Kingdom Hearts brought to Smash and then having all my dreams and hopes.
So LeRon and Hypecaster bring up a good point in the chat, in the Twitch chat. Like the thing is like Disney has the money to fund a cartridge for these things.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I get what. LeRon?
I was about to say though, Disney, they don't have like a stellar games division though. They don't.
They do though now.
No,
like, they're making a lot of smart decisions with their Disney, like their Marvel and Star Wars stuff has been doing really well. the rumors that Epic Mickey is coming back to Switch at some point, which I will play the crap out of. Like, I think Disney's made a lot of really, really smart decisions in gaming recently.
They still don't. I feel like whoever is doing all that wheeling and dealing understand PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. They don't
Probably
understand.
John Drake, I would assume.
They probably don't understand like Nintendo Switch and Nintendo fans. And I'm not even saying Nintendo fans the negative. They probably don't understand that dynamic because they're so used to. They're basically been playing cleanup, behind all the EA Star Wars stuff, and some of the other stuff that's been going on. They're probably busy.
The Switch has been getting a lot of these really great Star Wars ports and stuff. Like they've been really good. Like Republic Commando, that port's pretty good. Racer's pretty good. Jedi Outcast pretty good. Like they've been getting a lot of decent ports for Star Wars games. They got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was pretty good, right? Like I feel, and Midnight Suns is coming. Like I feel like Nintendo's gotten a pretty decent run of Disney games at this point.
Yeah. Didn't they get the Disney collection thing as well? The Aladdin and Lion King?
Yeah, which is another I think it's another interpretation of the Disney collection.
No, it's the same one, but they're releasing DLC for it. I think it's like Jungle Book and...
Oh, they're releasing DLC that brings in new games.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying they were releasing DLC for these old SNES games.
Oh, no. I forget what the other one is. It might be like Tailspin or something. Something weird. Something.
Well, okay. I do hear your point, Hypecaster, in the chat, but I don't think
I
that
love Antonio, by the way. Antonio, you're the man. We miss you. Come on something sometime soon, please. Thank you.
For sure. But I don't think that Nintendo is to blame for offering a cloud service because, again, I wouldn't be mad if it was just Kingdom Hearts 3 because Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 can absolutely run on the Switch. There's no doubt in my mind that it can run on the Switch. And if it was just 3, I understand that. I'm okay with that. It's Square Enix's and possibly Disney's decision to bring the entire collection to cloud gaming. That irks me because that's just being lazy at that point.
Yeah,
they're just not wanting to put in the work to make the port. And there are companies out there that do that for you, and they have the money, like we've talked about. They have the money to do this sort of thing. They don't have to make it in house.
Yeah, I mean I agree with you.
I agree. I agree as well.
Well, thank you. I'm glad y'all agree with my anger and rage.
I'm right there. I'm angry and raging inside as well.
Something that I think we can also all agree on is that they're bringing announced at the last Nintendo Direct, they had the N64 games and the Sega Genesis or just Sega games coming to Switch Online, and they just announced that they were going to that they confirmed all of those games will run at 60 FPS on Switch Online. Excited? Impressive?
Very sweet. Yeah, very sweet.
So for like a little bit of background, the GameCube, which had like the Zelda Master Collection, which is just Ocarina of Time, and then like I think there was also a version that had the Master Quest. That could not even run at 60 FPS on N64 games on the next console. And they didn't change it. It wasn't like the 3DS where they upgraded the graphics and everything. It was the original game. But now we have, which means when Banjo-Kazooie and hopefully, did they confirm Banjo-Tooie? Is that a thing?
It's only the first game right now, but I'm sure if the first one's coming, I'm sure I would be shocked if the second one did not come. I'd be shocked if any, like, all the rare stuff wouldn't end up over there eventually, just because Microsoft and Nintendo are playing really nice, So.
Yeah,
By the way, playing Perfect Dark, if Perfect Dark ever makes its way to this service, playing FPS? Perfect Dark at 60 frames a second is going to blow people's minds.
GoldenEye at 60 FPS. Donkey Kong Country multiplayer. I don't know if I'm the only person that ever played that mode with my friends, but at 60
Diddy
FPS.
Kong and the Pea shooters.
Yes, dude. Diddy Kong Racing at 60 FPS. Like, oh my god. I'm incredibly excited to hear this.
Look at LeRon's brain just melting like, you nerds.
Well,
Nintendo
well,
nerds.
you said earlier you had 3 games on the N64 that you like. What are those 3 games?
Mario 64, Ogre Battle 64,
Oh, I've
and
got something to show you later.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mario 64, Ogre Battle 64, and why is the third game like not jumping into my brain? And no, it wasn't Wave Race. I played Wave Race and enjoyed
Majora's
it,
Mask is the right answer.
boo.
Majora's Mask is the right answer always.
Boo. No. As a matter of fact, I am not going to. You are not going to walk me into that trap. Because you guys know exactly how I feel about the Nintendo 64 outings of Zelda. You guys are not going to walk me into that trap and have the elite block agents all up in my DMs tonight. No.
I want to say, as much as I love Majora's Mask, the Nintendo 64 Zeldas are not in my top 5 Zelda games.
Yeah.
So, Majora's Mask
That's fair.
might clear the top 5, but only because I love the game, not because it's aged well.
Yeah, no, none of them. Pretty much no N64 game has aged well because that polygon look is not good. It is real dirty.
By the way, have you tried to play Mario 64 on the 3D All Stars collection? I think we talked about this.
I beat it 100%.
God, the camera.
Yeah.
The camera is like, it's so bad. Like I don't know how we played games without the second stick camera ever.
What's interesting too about that is that there's like a weird disconnect between people who stopped playing games and people who continued to play games while that change of camera and being able to control it was happening. And the people who stopped have a real hard time with camera control. But then you throw them on an old game and they're like, yeah, I got this. This is good. This makes sense.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I think it's just the way our brains just translate, like the current tech versus like the old school stuff. Like it's like muscle memory, for the old stuff, but it's not the same. It's like I don't know, sequence breaking, in Metroid when it comes to like new stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Notice I'm full of Metroid puns tonight.
Well, speaking of Metroid, we did this week also get the Metroid Dread release and the Switch OLED, which I just realized those two things rhyme. Very good job, Nintendo, there. But Metroid Dread, it's been blowing up everywhere for all sorts of different reasons. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but not necessarily on Metroid's part. Guys, I think we did want to. Do y'all have any words about Grand Theft Auto coming to Nintendo Switch?
Neat. I might play Vice City.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I was thinking the same thing. So, I'm glad. I'm glad it's the three of us on the show tonight, and not Ed on this. Not Ed being joined by Ed, because we could have. We would have already heard like the haterade.
No, Ed, I know you're listening, and I know I love you. Okay, but if I have to hear about how much you hate Grand Theft Auto one more time,
he's gonna have 5 stars.
I might rip the rest of my hair out.
I almost feel like it's an irrational hatred too. I don't feel like it's really based in anything like tangible.
No, I agree with his criticisms. I do. I've just been hearing it for 6 years. I'm tired, LeRon.
Why are you saying like I'm tired?
Have you met Ed? Are you not tired?
I haven't met him in person, but yeah, I've met him.
Oh man. Just for those wondering, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy will include GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas. It's super cool. It's super cool that they're bringing this to a Nintendo console. I'm excited. The weird thing about this, and I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but Rockstar announced that they're going to be removing existing digital copies from marketplaces.
I didn't know about that.
In preparation for this launch. So that's a little odd, which, I mean, it's in their right to do so. But
I have heard that people who have purchased these games on either the Rockstar launcher or like Steam or wherever they're available on PC will just get these upgraded versions for free.
Oh, I have not. Okay. I have not heard that. So if that's the case, then that would be very cool. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation people are obviously gonna have to repurchase it, and Switch owners obviously are gonna have to buy it for the first time. But if you own it on PC, I'm pretty sure you just get these upgrades.
That would be very neat for them to do. But I did think that was interesting. We had a similar situation like when Wonderful 101 came to the Switch, and when Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came to the Switch, I think, and Pikmin. I think you aren't able to find those games. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're not able to find those games on the Wii U eShop anymore.
They took them off the eShop.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but it's totally within their rights.
It's because those games were $20 on Wii U, and they're turning around and charging you $60 on the Switch.
Yep. Which is that's a conversation for another day. Because today we have to get into our docked mode, which is all about Metroid Dread, baby.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
Samus has returned. She's looking super sleek in that blue and white and red power suit, fusion dread suit, I think is what people are calling it.
The suit is amazing. This is Samus's best look. I'm not a huge Metroid person. Okay, I love the first Metroid game.
Yeah.
But it's also the only Metroid game I've ever beaten.
We talking about the NES Metroid, or we talking about Zero
the
Metroid?
The NES Metroid.
Okay.
I love Metroid.
Yeah.
I've never finished Super Metroid. I've never finished Samus Returns, and I've never even played Fusion. Like, I don't know why. I just don't know why. Probably because I never had a Super Nintendo, right? Until like way later, and but I did buy all the games on the Wii U eShop when they were on sale, or whenever this game got announced. I bought them all.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play Zero Mission because that's the definitive version of Metroid.
Yes.
1.
Yep.
I want to play them all. But anyways, out of all the looks, even Zero Suit Samus. Sorry, all you horny fanboys. The way Samus looks in this game throughout the entire game, she looks amazing.
So slick. And not only does she look amazing, this is cutscenes. I've never like Breath of the Wild, Mario, Super Mario Odyssey. Cutscenes in Nintendo games have never been a thing that have like wowed me or made me feel anything about the story, because frankly Nintendo is not always that great with their story in games.
Right.
These cutscenes show like I feel like I probably we'll edit this out in the recorded show, but like I wish I was a girl so that I could look up to Samus as a role model for how much of a bamf she is. Like,
I mean, you still can.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like, as somebody who identifies as a guy,
I agree with you.
Like,
I agree with you 100%. Like, she is just like, she's Nintendo's coolest character now.
Absolutely coolest character.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love.
Wait. Now?
Yeah, shut up. You know what?
I'm the Metroid fan here. Like, she's always been the coolest character. Like, forget your freaking Zelda, Princess Zelda, running around like Sheik and all that stuff. No.
I mean, Zelda is cool in what game did we just get? Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but like, okay, how far? Spoilers ahead, possibly. I don't know what y'all consider spoilers, listeners, but just in case, if you're like wanting to be absolutely blind on Metroid, we'll
have timestamps in the show. If you like, just from this point on, if you don't want spoilers, please skip ahead.
And we're not talking end of game spoilers, because I think I'm the only one that's beaten it. But like, just like early on stuff, because again, this game was so like, I'm so happy that I saw the first trailer for this that Nintendo pointed out, and then just closed my eyes to everything else that they did. Because this game has some of the coolest reveals that I've ever seen. I need to know, now that we've gotten spoiler things out of the way, how like I based off of y'all's conversation, I think LeRon is further than Corey.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
How far are you, Corey? Like, what's like the biggest thing you've seen? And
I haven't really seen anything big, to be honest. I've probably only played about half hour or 45 minutes. I literally just started playing today, but I've watched a lot of it, like on YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
And like, just like a lot of the things, like it's just this. First of all, this game does scale so well.
Mm-hmm.
The scale of the bosses and just like making Samus look so small compared to some of these bosses, but like still giving you that feeling of like, oh, I can still see what's going on, even on a Switch Lite. Like you can still see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so okay, so you've watched some videos on it, so you know a little bit ahead of where you are. LeRon, what about you? What's like the big thing that you've just done in Metroid Dread?
Okay, wait. So we can spoiler right now, right?
Yes. Right?
Okay,
Corey, you're
because
okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I've already been spoiled for a lot of things just because of the nature of us being online all the time.
Yes, yeah.
So like, plus like, again, I haven't played the other Metroid games, so like I'm not invested in the story like you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be a cool bounty hunter chick,
okay,
killing big monsters, right?
So go ahead and drop names, LeRon, because I feel like you know where I'm going.
I just beat the 4th Emmy, but beyond that, Kraid? Oh my god!
Kraid, dude, he's here. I lost my mind on stream.
They need to explain that. They really do, because here's the thing about it, because I get really romantic about the Metroid series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
pour some wine,
in getting prepared for Metroid Dread, I actually did a rerun of Metroid Zero Mission because I love the presentation and the overall like what they did for Zero Mission, which is why I'm saying that, you know, like Dread is like the Zero Mission experience except the current model now.
Yes,
you know. But the one thing I was like, man, like we are so far away. Like, you know, like I feel like they bringing back Ridley and Kraid Super Metroid, you know, was like fan service. I was like, there's no way in hell that we're ever gonna see like Kraid again. And Kraid from back in the NES days, his lair had the coolest music. The fight was kind of meh, but when they brought him back for Super Metroid and of course Zero Mission, it was like, man, like this is the fight we've been waiting for. And the Kraid fight, First of all, I was kind of in disbelief because when he shows up, I was like, "That looks like Kraid, but I don't think it's Kraid."
Yeah, no, I was like, is Kraid like an extra like are there multiple Kraids in the universe? Is this like a Kraid baby? But no, it's freaking Kraid, man.
Yeah, and Corey, you're talking about how Samus is like super badass, you know, and stuff like that. Yo, her cockiness when she encountered Kraid, because she stood there for a moment, she just charged up her triple beam and then shot him in the mouth one time.
He like what were you gonna say, Corey, about him being chained up?
Like he looks cool chained up like that.
So cool. Oh my god! And that cutscene. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like the one scene that I think it's either in the trailer or one of the videos that I watched where like he's like chained up, but then he like roars at her, but he gets kind of close and she just kind of like stands there and like gives him like the.
It's better than that. It's better than that.
Yes,
she stares. Yes. He roars of like this blood curdling scream. She looks him in the face. Open mouth right in front of her, raises her arm and just full shots right into his mouth. Like
right into his
totally no pose, no anything. Just kind of like, get out of here. And then at the end, when he fires off that last blast from his belly and she just kind of sidesteps it. Oh my god, dude. Samus is so freaking cool.
Oh my god, yeah, but and then it's like wait, this is the same chick that was running from those robots like 2 seconds ago.
I know. It's like the Emmys. She's like, I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know what's been done to them. But then she sees Kraid, someone which is so funny because like that's one of the biggest hate things on Metroid Other M. It's like, oh my gosh, she's fought Ridley so many times. Why is she scared? Why does she have PTSD? And this like went full opposite direction. She was like, oh, it's Kraid. Yeah, I've done this before. I'm fine.
Well, I mean, I can understand why she has PTSD. Ridley
Yes.
like took out her family.
Yes,
you know,
I do.
I understand the PTSD, but
I'm an apologist for that. I fully support that idea, but I thought it was so cool that they were like, here's another person that she's fought all the time, and then she just doesn't care. She is so chill the whole time.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Like I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And you know what? If I didn't play any more Metroid Dread right now, like I'm happy for the fact that we got another encounter with Kraid. You know, like I feel like this is the last trick they can do, unless they're just clones of them all over the place, which means we'll see probably Meta Ridley again and all that stuff. But you know, I think I'm about halfway through the game because I know for sure I'm on my way to getting the ice beam and the gravity suit. But one thing
you're probably about halfway. You're probably about halfway.
One thing I will say that's kind of irking me about this game is, like I said, I just got through playing Zero Mission right before this game came out. I missed the waypoint system that Zero Mission introduced because Zero Mission and Fusion had a waypoint system where basically it told you where you need to go to get to your next objective, even though you could still run around and do your own thing as long as you could get past doors and stuff like that. But you know, this game is not being nice.
Do you think they did that because, I mean, not that I know because I'm not far enough, but I feel like a lot of people have said that this game is way more linear than the other ones. At least
it is, and it isn't. It's as linear as you choose it to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like I fully expect there to, you know what, while I'm talking, I really think that the speedrun community is going to absolutely just eat this game alive and produce some incredible runs of it. But like, I would not be surprised if this game is already in like the early like 3 to 4 hour, maybe even less than 3 hour runtime, just because of how linear it can be if you choose to do so. There's a lot of option to go back and keep exploring and go off and see side rooms and things like that. And I want to say also that to your point, LeRon, the lack of waypoints, I think that comes down to the fact that like Nintendo should have put our own David Lasby, our editor-in-chief, talked about how he wishes that there was an easier mode, and not necessarily for him, but for his kids. And they need options. They need choices to say, I'd like waypoints on, off. I'd like to be able to save anywhere I want, on, off. All of this sort of thing. They need options to allow for a more streamlined experience if you so choose. Because I personally enjoyed not having the waypoints because it didn't. When the way my brain works, when I see a waypoint, I want to go to it. I want to like get it done. It's like a tick on the map. But when it's not there, I kind of know where I'm supposed to go, but I want to go in the other way first because maybe I'm wrong and maybe there's something over there that I want. But I totally see the how it would just be beneficial to include the option for that sort of thing.
Yeah, for real.
So y'all's first Emmy encounters, Corey, have you had your first Emmy encounter?
I mean,
that isn't the like broken down one?
Yeah, just besides that one. That one, like, I didn't really understand what to do at first at that one. Like, I was just like, well, it's chasing me. Do I need to like counter it? Do I need to just like run away? But then when I ran away, I got to that other door that I came from, and I was like, well, it's locked. I can't go up this tube yet. What do I do? And it just like that got kind of like a little bit frustrating. But other than that, like I haven't gotten to like a real first Emmy yet. Yeah,
I know, LeRon, you've been having a little bit of anger issues with the Emmy.
Okay. With the counter stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my thing about it. Like,
don't they teach you how to counter at like that very first bug thing though, right? Like, isn't it essentially
it's real fast.
Yeah, it's real fast. But here's the thing about it too. There's also four different. There's 4 different sequences for it.
Yeah.
And technically, if you miss, technically there's 8 because like if you encounter an Emmy depending on which way it approaches you, you have an opportunity to counter it. And if you miss that opportunity to counter it, you have a second opportunity to counter it, which is even a shorter window.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing about it, though. Like, okay, from the left side, there's 2 different animations for the first grab that you can break. For the right side, there's also 2 different animations for the first grab you can break. I've learned that I can successfully counter an enemy if it grabs me from the right side. That's the only way I can do it. And the reason why I know this is because like when I beat the 4th enemy, the one that runs super fast and gives you the shine spark,
yes,
the speed booster.
Yep.
That sucker was catching me so many times, and just luckily for me, like he was coming from my right, so I was able to completely counter it every single time. I'm proud of myself, but at the same time, like those like the timing window is all jacked up for it. And my whole thing is like, why even tell? What frustrates me the most is like, why even tell me that I can counter it? But it's so hard to do.
Yes.
That's my main thing. It's kind of a weird thing to be all upset about, but that's my thing.
No, I did a 24-hour live stream for this, and I got to the point where if I got caught, very early on, I got to the point where if I missed the first one, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to try the second one.
I don't even try the second one.
I don't think I've ever gotten that second one at all.
I've gotten the second one one time. That's why on my tweet that I did the update for, I was like LeRon 7 Emmys 1,400,000 something and a half.
Yes.
Because that half is the one time that I was like, oh, I'm going to die this time. And I was like, oh, I survived.
That's awesome. But like towards the end of the game, towards the end of that part of my stream, I was very much like, if they caught me, I was just like, I'll just let them kill me. But that didn't remove the. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the nice thing about dying in Metroid Dread is you don't have to backtrack too far.
No, you really don't. They are very generous. Yeah. It's not like a save system per se, because if you totally restart, you'll go back to where you last saved. But it does recognize that, like, hey, you're going to die a lot against these enemies. And I will say that even when I got to the point of them just accepting that they were going to kill me, it did not reduce the amount of like stress and fear that I had when trying to run away from them and get to the next part of whatever I needed to be, like past that zone. Like that, and man, those things have some crazy AI too. Because like if you get like a pixel in their thing and you make noise, they're on you in seconds.
Right, yeah. It's insane.
It's absolutely insane. I'm very excited for y'all to get to the end of this game. If you have any doubts about whether or not you are going to enjoy it and play all the way to the end, you have to play all the way to the end. 'Cause it gets crazy. Like it gets so wild. It's something that you could watch, but experiencing it firsthand was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But so
totally agree.
How are y'all feeling with Metroid Dread? How do you feel about the revival of Metroid as a series?
I mean, I think this was the smartest thing they could have done, especially with the delay of Prime, right? Like, I think giving people a very, very good to even great 2D Metroid, like, because I mean, it gets people who grew up with Metroid and Super Metroid back into the series. It gives people because like Metroidvanias are like some of the biggest games out there right now, right? You see Guacamelee, Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest, and I mean, so many indie games are developing Metroidvanias because Nintendo just, let's be honest, hasn't been doing it.
Yep. And
they want to show their love and appreciation for Metroid, and then you see Nintendo and Mercury Steam come out and deliver something that's truly an evolution of Super Metroid and the games that came after, right? And they just delivered. And a great game is a great game. It doesn't matter what genre it's in, doesn't matter what who the character is, the game design, like a great game is a great game, and Nintendo has delivered a great game, and Mercury's team has developed a great game. Like I told you guys before, like I'm not a huge Metroidvania guy. They kind of give me a lot of anxiety and just, you know, the backtracking and not knowing where I'm at and stuff. That gives me a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the one game that I played a couple years ago, Dead Cells.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's kind of like a roguelite slash, you know, what do you call it? Procedurally generated style game. But the way that game played, the movement, the weapons, felt so good. And like, you know, it's kind of why I haven't gone back to especially the older Metroid games, because, you know, the quality of life stuff for current games isn't there. And I just, you know, it's given me a lot of anxiety to like, oh, I don't have a map on my screen. I don't have a mini map. I don't have waypoint systems, or I don't have, you know, objective markers or anything. Like, that gives me a lot of anxiety. But just playing Metroid Dread for the half hour, 45 minutes I have, my one thing is like the way Samus moves and the way she shoots and the weapons. Like, it just feels so good to play that, like, as soon as I started moving, like, I forgot all my anxieties about a Metroidvania game because it's just so much fun to play, right? And I think that really says something. You know, Mercury's team over the years has gotten a lot of crap for developing mediocre to bad Castlevania games. You know, Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS was good. I don't know if it was amazing. I don't know if it's like the game people wanted, although Metroid Return of Samus on Game Boy is like, you know,
it's hard.
Those are the bones they had to build a remake off of. So I mean, it's like, it's not like they could really experiment a whole lot with that, right? I mean, we got the counter system and some melee stuff in that game, right? But like,
I'm just gonna tell you, like Samus Returns remake was so impressive when you look at what the Game Boy game was.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, no, I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying, as if you look at it just as a game, it was a good game that was remade off of the bones of a weird Game Boy game.
Yeah.
But now that Nintendo has kind of like let them loose to make a full-on Metroid game, and not even that, but like the baggage that comes with the name Metroid Dread, the development baggage, that game was listed in Nintendo Power to come out in 2004 on the Game Boy Advance, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question though: why the name Dread though? Like, there's nothing really scary about this game.
No, there's something in one of the games that hit, like the dread is something. I don't know. Sorry, Jacob. You look like you were gonna say. You probably have a lot more intelligent answer than I do.
So the name Dread comes from, I think originally, and Nintendo themselves does say that this is like their most like thematically dark Metroid game, and it is. When you get towards the ending, there's things that happen that you learn that are very dark, and like, if you don't get caught up in just the hype of it all, it makes you question a lot of like, wow, this is kind of messed up.
Okay.
But,
all right, so I know to keep an eye out for it then.
Yeah, and it's very easy to get lost in the hype of it all, but then like I loved it so much that I played through the ending sequence again and like started noticing these things of like, oh wow, that's actually like really messed up and dark and cruel. And there's a lot of that, but Metroid Dread, specifically to what Corey was saying, comes from the Metroid Prime 3 games, where they had a log that you could scan that said Project Dread nearing completion, and then like shortly after that, Nintendo Power had a thing saying it. I don't even think they necessarily talked about it. I think it was just like in their list of upcoming Nintendo games, it said Metroid Dread Game Boy Advance, and like everyone knew that was the next title coming, and then it never came for 14 or something years. But oh dude, it's like I have a couple complaints, more specifically things that are just me focused, like the pixely color difference on whether or not Samus has been in a part of the map annoys the heck out of me.
Yes.
Because it doesn't offer any sort of reward for uncovering the entirety of the map. Like for making it basically turns from a dark blue color to a light blue color, and it doesn't give you anything for doing that, but because it's there, I have to do it, and so that's wasted my time.
Yeah, just messes your OCD.
But
like, I have that same problem too.
No, yeah, absolutely. And then like there was one other thing which I can't think of it now, but those problems aside, Metroid Dread is an absolute masterpiece of a game.
Yeah, it's a jewel.
It is a jewel, is a diamond in the rough of the Metroid franchise that is a lot of diamonds, weirdly, even though that's the case.
I can honestly say in my history of Metroid, because I haven't really played all the Primes. I played probably about half of Prime, and I bought Prime 2, and I think I bought Prime 3. No, actually, no. Wait, Prime 3 came out on what? The Wii?
The Wii U. No, the Wii. The Wii. Sorry, the Wii. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't buy Prime 3, but I had Prime. I played half of that, and I bought Prime 2, but never played it. So Prime is the weaker entries as far as I'm concerned in Metroid, and I never played Other M. Like I just heard too much about it, and I was like, you know what? I
feel like Other M it's not as bad as the internet makes it out to be, but it's not great. It's not great.
The biggest downfall to me for Other M is that they don't tell you. There's so much esotericness to it. They're literally to the point where there's one sequence where you are looking for a pixel on a screen for Samus to be like, oh, there's the thing I'm looking for. Like, it's so bad in that regard that I think that overlays everything else. But like story-wise to it, overall gameplay-wise to it, I think it's great. I think it's a good one.
I heard the lore was great, but I also heard they just overkilled you with the whole thing about her guilt about the Metroid baby.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think the funniest thing about that is the voice actor for Samus at the time. Every time I think they used one line for when she says the baby. I think and
it's always the same.
It's always the same inflection, everything, and she says it a lot, so it gets draining real quick.
Yeah, which sucks because that was Jennifer Hale that did the voiceover for Samus, and they basically killed all of her dialogue.
Yep. Any last thoughts on Dread though?
I'm excited to keep playing. I'm really excited
for my review.
Yeah, I'm really excited to keep playing. I think I might put some sort of like quick look up on the YouTube channel or something just to give people a feel for it, because it's really good. It's really fun. So
check out our first impressions on the website. Like David and 3 other of the contributors for the writing team. Like actually their first impressions. Did it go? I can't remember what day it went live. I want to say it went live on Saturday.
I think it was it Saturday or was it yesterday? Let me check.
Well, while you're checking on that, I will say there are not a lot of games that I play through. There's 4 actually now. There's 4 games that I've played through, and as soon as I was done playing, I immediately started another playthrough. Like I wanted to keep playing even though I was done. Metroid Dread reached that for me. Like I did not want to stop playing, and I jumped into another game immediately after I finished.
There's a hard mode on this, right?
There is.
There is.
I did jump into the hard mode, but there's a hard mode on Samus Returns as well, and I didn't bother jumping into that. I was like, no, I had a good experience. It was good. But like this one, it has a lot to do with the motion that Samus has. Like she feels so fluid. It's great.
With this, dare I say, like by the time I beat Metroid Dread, this might finally be the game that knocks Super Metroid off the pedestal for me.
Yeah, I could see it, man. I could see it. Corey, when was that article posted for us?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Well, the 10th, October 10th. So by the time this goes up, October 10th.
Okay. And it's a very good article. There were a lot of, that's what, like I said, David Lasby talked about his thoughts on wanting an easier mode, and I do agree with him. I think that choices in games is always a good thing. I think if the options that you give players can never be nothing but good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Metroid Dread, so freaking good. Can't wait to.
This has me more excited for like when they re-release the Prime trilogy at some point. If they bring anything else forward, if they bring like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to the online stuff, this game has me more interested in Metroid than I have been in like probably 25 years. Like it seriously like like I said, like just playing it feels good, and that's what has me interested to keep going. And you know, I haven't really dived into a Switch game in a while. Like really dived into a Switch game. Like I played a lot of Mario Golf, like, but I mean, like, you know, that's not. You know,
Nothing about Mario Golf keeps you up late at night thinking about Mario Golf.
I mean, I think about how much better it could be, but that's a conversation for another day. But this is something that's like, this game is going to be something that people talk about 10, 15, 20 years from now, the way that people talk about Super Metroid now, I feel like.
I do too.
And that's saying something. So can we just acknowledge that the Switch has had so many franchise highlights?
So
like really just like reinventing franchises or really reinvigorating franchises that may have been dead, you know, like just really doing really good stuff with franchises on this console.
So I'd like to take that actually and say, with Metroid basically being revived, what Nintendo IP do you want them to tackle next to getting revived?
Kid Icarus.
That you took it right out of my mouth.
Me too. I was going to say that too.
But I don't need it to be like the weird 3DS version. I don't even want it to be like the NES version. I think they could really do a cool. I think
Dark Souls style Kid Icarus.
Well, let's not go that far. I mean, it'd be cool though. You could do. I mean, you could do that. But I was thinking more of like a Breath of the Wild open world style game where you go to these different areas and maybe you fight big Dark Souls style bosses in these areas. But like, Kid Icarus could be way more vertical than Breath of the Wild was. Although obviously with Breath of the Wild 2, we're getting Skyloft.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, clearly getting Skyloft in Breath of the Wild 2. But like, you could do some cool things vertically. Obviously, Pit can fly, so you could do some really interesting things with flight. You could have, you know, different weapons and cool things. I don't know. I think they could do something really cool with Kid Icarus, and it hasn't been around. And like, Kid Icarus on the 3DS was not a Kid Icarus game. Let's be honest. It was just like
It had the Kid Icarus skin on it.
Yeah, it felt like an experiment. And they were just like, oh, let's throw Kid Icarus skin on it, and we'll just call it a Kid Icarus game, right? The way that they did that game that came with Star Fox Zero.
Oh,
right?
the
Star Fox Guard.
Yeah, the Slippy game.
Yeah,
with Slippy's uncle or something, which was really weird.
Yeah, so I mean, they could do something really cool with Kid Icarus, I think. I know a lot of people online were like, Star Fox. I'm like, we've gotten 2 Star Fox games in the last 7 or 8 years. Like, relax.
Yep.
So,
what about you, LeRon? You say also Kid Icarus?
Yeah, I also say Kid Icarus because that's the only. I feel like I say this every time I come on Pow Block, but Nintendo is basically like the gaming company I feel like I've outgrown over the years and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that I can think about goes back to like my original time on the NES, you know, and the SNES to a certain extent. Even though I realize, like, looking back at some of my favorite SNES games, like a lot of it is Square Enix titles, and Square Enix is already doing what they want to do as far as like remakes and re-releases.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm CEO of Kid Icarus Soulsborne. I want a very gritty, dark Kid Icarus game that's in the style of Dark Souls and Bloodborne, where every attack matters. But I think for the sake of being different on this is I think I'd like for them to bring back Ice Climbers. I I think I'd like for them.
That's a fun entry.
Well, the thing they could do with Ice Climbers, they don't have to make a full $60 experience, right? They could do like I don't know if you guys played the game Good Job,
Yes.
or if you played Snipper Clips,
Yep.
or like one of these, or even like Box Boy and Box Girl, right? Like they could do this small $15, $20 experience where, you know, you solve puzzles with the Ice Climbers, or, you know, solve these little platforming challenges or something. They don't have to make that game. They can make the $20 to $30 experience and have it be really great. Or even something as small as Captain Toad, right? Like some sort of Ice Climbers version of Captain Toad where it's like, oh, it's these small contained levels that you have to like solve
That would
and get out
actually be
of.
really brilliant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I should work for Nintendo.
You
It's
should, yeah.
basically-
Go give them ideas. Be part of their think tank. Get us Kid Icarus and Ice Climbers back.
Miyamoto's actually going to adopt me. Is what he's saying.
Well, you'd be a worthwhile adopted son, I'm sure.
Mm. I can host Nintendo Power Podcast if you really need a new host. I like Chris Slate, but saying.
But have you heard of Corey Dirk?
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for our docked mode, talking about Metroid Dread. We now have Playing with Power. That's the one. Like,
we're all
enters them.
playing the same.
yeah,
game.
You didn't do the punch. Yes.
There we go. You
It's
can
gotta be
edit.
more
You have to
dramatic
edit
than
my
that.
voice in after that.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah, we've all been playing Metroid Dread, obviously. Anything else? Any other little things you want to shout out?
I've been playing Tetris Effect as well on the Switch.
How is that?
It's Tetris Effect. It's very colorful. The music is great. It's a great version of Tetris. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
I don't really have anything to say that probably hasn't already been said because it's been out for 2 years. But it is definitely a wonderful version of Tetris that I highly recommend to everybody. I've also been playing a little action RPG called Unsighted, which it's if you like Crosscode,
Okay.
Jacob,
Yeah.
Dark Souls
Yeah.
meets Crosscode
Okay.
meets Majora's Mask.
Oh my God. What?
And it's super pixelized. Like it looks like Hyper Light Drifter. It plays like Crosscode, but it has big monsters like Dark Souls, and it has a timing mechanic like Majora's
Oh
Mask.
my God. Okay. What is this
That
again?
that
I
sounds
need
like
to-
too much.
It's
That sounds
called-
too much.
It's called Unsighted. There's a demo, so you can try it out if you want.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm sold.
It's $20. You can adjust the timer too. So if you're like really kind of panicky about the timer, there's like an easy mode where like the timer doesn't really, affect things.
Yeah.
But it's you play as an android who's looking for your android girlfriend is lost, and you're going to find her.
Naturally.
Also, Jacob,
Yeah.
do you like a good companion?
Yes.
Do you like a good dog boy?
Oh my
Companion.
God. We have a dog boy companion. All right.
Yeah,
I'm-
but
I'm-
there's a mechanic because like since you play an android, you don't really have to rest, right? You can just kind of keep fighting because you're kind of a robot.
Yes.
But your companions have to rest after
Oh.
fights because they're organic matter. They're organic life forms. So but sometimes depending on how you train or use your animals or whatever, like if they don't have high enough stamina, it could take 2 or 3 in-game hours it's not like real 3 hours, right? It's more whatever I don't know
Yeah.
the timing.
Yeah.
I didn't really time it out in real life hours compared to in-game hours, but like it takes 2 to 3 in-game hours to like rest your dog. And so like if you get into a big battle and you don't have your companion because it's resting, it could be a little bit harder. So
I'm
you
sold.
gotta balance that as well. But it's cool. It's really neat.
I'm sold.
I recommend it if you like 16, 32-bit action RPGs.
Yep. LeRon, nothing else other than Dread from you?
Actually, I'm fibbing because I'm I'm doing my October horror games stream right now. This is the inaugural one for me, and I'm doing the entire Dead Space trilogy right now on my Twitch channel.
Which
so
is
right
where?
now,
Which is where?
twitch.tv/exodus803.
Excellent.
Yeah, but yeah, like right now, I'm currently in Dead Space 1. I'm doing something a little quirky with this one. I'm going to do the one gun run, where basically there's an achievement or a trophy in the game where basically you beat the game using just one weapon. It has to be the plasma cutter, which is the original weapon that Isaac gets from the very start. It's doable. It's doable. Trust me. There's not that much challenge involved in it, but yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to relive the glory days of back when I was playing on PS3. I'm playing the PC version, so there's that. And then as soon as I beat that, I'm going straight to Dead Space 2. I'm going to have some fun with Dead Space 2. Basically, I'm going to use a 100% boosted save file that have all the weapons unlocked because you guys have to see the hilarity that is the foam finger gun. And I don't know what I'm doing for Dead Space 3 besides playing the full game, like Dead Space 3 plus the Awakened DLC.
All right.
And I've made the promise that even if for some, because it's October 11th right now, even if I do not finish all 3 games by the end of the month, I will continue playing until I get them beat.
Excellent. I love Dead Space, so I need to tune into your streams or your VODs or something and watch because I absolutely adore the Dead Space series.
I can't wait till we get cloud versions of Dead Space on.
Nope. I mean, at that point, I'm gonna have to side completely with Hypecaster and just say, nope, it's Nintendo's fault. How dare you bring this cloud service to us? Just dash my hopes and dreams instantly while also being a troll and bringing them to the system. I did air quotes for anybody there that's just listening.
Don't get me started because I'm about to go on another rant about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I know. Me too. So I have been playing Metroid Dread. I also played a little bit of Among Us with my Otter Kingdom community, which we do every Saturday night. Twitch.tv/Galatrad. And I played. Have y'all played Pico Park before? Do you know what that is? It's a very adorable, it's like $5, very adorable little indie game where you have to work together with your friends. And it is the cause for a lot of hilarity. Very simple. All you do is move and jump. But then there are like rules. Like for instance, there's a group Tetris game where you all have to guide blocks on one single map to make Tetris lines. And then there's also there's one where you're all linked together with a rope, and so there's physics involved. So if one of your characters falls off, you might be able to pull them back. But if more of them starts falling off, you just pulls everybody down.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a very cute little game. $5. It now has online on the Nintendo Switch. Highly recommend it. It's very, very good. If you do play on a Switch Lite, just as a word of warning, because I did talk to the developers about this. If you do play only on a Switch Lite, when you go to buy it, it's going to give you that warning that says, hey, this game's not made for the Switch Lite. It needs to be, you should buy this only if you have a regular Switch. That is only because in order to play local, you have to have at least 2 people. And you can't on the Switch Lite. But you can still play online with friends. So you absolutely can still buy the game, and it's very, very good. All right. Well, boys, that was another episode of Pow Block Podcast.
See, we can't do it without Ed.
Apparently we can. Y'all,
I want to. Can I say something before we wrap this up?
Of course.
So. For newer listeners, when Ed and I started this show 5 or 6, 7 years ago, we wanted to kind of create something positive and special for Nintendo audiences, and obviously Boss Rush has grown into a lot of special things, right? Like Crossroads and Arsenal X, and interviews and all these kind of cool podcasty things that we do here, but this show and people that have been on it, and Jacob, you've added a huge spark of energy and comedy and honestly just like some magic to the show. And I just want to, and LeRon, you have done some really great things on Boss Rush as well. Like Crossroads. That I think Crossroads is like one of our best shows too. Like it's I miss this show dearly. And I know I'm not on it as often as I would like to be just because of all the other things that we're doing. But like this show means a lot to me. And the fact that, Jacob, you and Ed and the rest of the guys and ladies and people who have guested on the show and been on the show, and just keeping the magic going and always trying to figure out how to make it better or do something different or just do something really unique with the show. I really appreciate you guys doing that when I'm not here. So,
well, we appreciate you giving us the platform to do such things, boss.
Yeah,
man.
for real.
So I know I don't say that enough to everybody, but this show, whether I'm on it or not, has been my baby for a long time. And I haven't really been on it as often, but I just, the way you guys continue to keep this show alive and well and give people sparks of energy and just, it's great. So thank you for making this show something special. Really. That's it. I'm done. I'm done being emotional now.
Oh, I can feel it right here.
Shut up, LeRon.
All right. Well, now that everybody's crying, another little extra thank you to all of y'all viewers and listeners. We really appreciate you. To steal from, or to paraphrase from one of my teachers, long ago, please leave your questions, comments, thoughts, and rude remarks in the comment sections and leave us reviews and stuff. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We want to hear all of it because that's how we grow. That's how we make and provide the best show for y'all, and that you're the people who we're doing it for. So your voice matters. Whether you think it does or not, your voice matters. Any other thoughts, gentlemen?
No, just everybody is welcome here. Everybody is welcome to contribute to this positive force that I think we're building here. And if you're creative or you just want to hang out and play games, or if you want to try something, you're welcome here. We're not going to turn you away. So
yeah. Boss Rush is a safe space for gamers, and you love just anything like digital media and stuff like that. Even the disruptive elements can, we love you and we welcome you.
All right. Well, with that, that's going to close out episode 266 of Pow Block Podcast. Guys, go play Metroid Dread. Go buy it. Spend money on it. It's worth it.
It is
Metroid.
It is worth the $60. Like
Absolutely.
This is one of those times where you don't really have to wrestle with yourself as far as do you need to spend the money or do you need to wait for a holiday sale. Don't wait for a holiday sale. I'm not a shill for Nintendo in any way, but I am a Metroid fan, and anytime I can get my hands on the Metroid game as quickly as possible, it's always a good time for me. And trust me, if it's a good time for me, it should be a good time for you. Don't worry about those robots that can one-shot you, because you encounter them all over the place, and it won't even hinder your progress.
Just remember, you will never die as much as LeRon has died.
because I'm stubborn. I want to counter attack every single one of those damn things when they grab me.
I am a Nintendo shill, and I'm gonna end up buying 4 copies of the game because I have my copy, and I did a giveaway for 2 copies, and I owe Ed a copy. So buy Metroid Dread. Don't take the fact that I've bought 4 copies say that you shouldn't buy one, because you should. It's a great game. If you love games, you should buy Metroid Dread. That's really what it is.
I may buy a physical copy just so I have a case for it.
Yeah.
I may just gift the actual cartridge to somebody. I'm keeping the case.
The thing is like I buy digital copies of every game, but if it's a game that I really, really love, like Zelda, I will buy a physical copy. I will probably get a physical copy of this at some point.
Yeah. I won't. I don't believe in physical games. All right, everybody, that's our show for the night. Have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Be better. Bye-bye.
Bye.